Where do you think that most people's insecurities come from?
I think comparing yourself to others. I think that's where most people kind of get confused. They look at other people for an image of perfect when it's just different. You're not imperfect because someone looks different to you. I think everyone is equal. I don't think anyone's perfect. But I think comparing yourself to others, and especially on social media nowadays, I'd say comparisons is the main cause of like body image problems and insecurity and stuff like that. So if you only look at yourself, you won't feel that. You won't feel insecure, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. How do you think that people should handle mean and judgmental people?
I think it depends on your personality, because if it was me, I stand up for myself in most cases. I think you should read the room. I think if you know something explosive is going to be caused by it, I wouldn't say anything, or if it was minor, I would walk away because I've got self-respect and I would leave the situation. But I think if it's repeated, then you have every right to stand up for yourself, especially if it's to do with bullying of the way that someone looks. I think you have every right to stand up for yourself. And I would stand up for someone else if that was happening to one of my loved ones and they were being made to feel insecure for no reason, then I would probably stand up for them in that situation.
Okay. Do you think that social media is a good place for young people to find advice on how to build confidence?
Yes, I do. I feel like there's lots of positive body positivity influencers out there who are aiming to make people feel less insecure by showing what real bodies look like online. But I think there's also the downside of that, where there's still going to be bullies no matter what you post, kind of thing. So even the influencers, they have hate comments commented on them, but it also shows that they don't react. So that's also a good way of modelling how you should respond to things.
Yeah. What would you personally do in a situation where you feel too anxious and overwhelmed?
Definitely put myself first, take time for me, leave the situation probably. Or if it was a situation like a test or your driving test where you're forced into it, I would probably say do a bit of time to yourself before, do things that you enjoy doing to kind of bring yourself back down, and also try not to be afraid of doing things such as tests, because I know tests, they do provide a lot of anxiety, even interviews, stuff like that. I think be brave. That's what I tell myself, just be brave, just go for it. And I do understand that people who do have severe anxiety, it is really hard. So just, I think, prioritise yourself. You know what calms you down and do that, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. How do you get to a place where you stop comparing yourself to other people?
Honestly, I'm not sure if people will ever get to that point. It seems so far away, even for someone like me who's I am really confident and I do have a lot of self-belief. There are still times where I find that I do compare myself to others. I think it's a normal part of human life, but I would say a lot more of looking inwards at yourself and focusing on you, rather than, because lots of people care about other people's perceptions of them and how they look, whereas I feel like people need to kind of let go a little bit, have fun, and really just focus on themselves instead of looking outwards.
Mm-hmm. If you're in a position where you don't know your passion in life, what should you do?
I was in this exact position, and I feel like when I finished uni, or when I was in uni, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So what I did was I spoke to people around me, saw similar people to me, and got advice from them, seeing what they enjoy doing and try lots of different things, because I know so many people who never had a passion for like a job or anything, any hobbies, but after trying different things, they've kind of found what they wanted to do. So I think explore, really.
Mm-hmm. How do you pinpoint the key symptoms of anxiety and recognise when you might need help?
I feel like that's another one where you really need to look inwards at yourself and know yourself and be confident in when you need to take a break. So I would say, personally, I don't struggle that much with anxiety, but I know for definite that there are certain situations where I do struggle. So I would probably think about what those situations are, why I'm feeling that way, what kind of triggers there are, and use kind of the calming techniques to overcome that. So I get really nervous when I'm flying, like on airplanes. So beforehand I know that I need a task to be doing, or I need my music, or I need some kind of comfort before going into that situation. So I'd say just know yourself, and if you know you're going to be anxious in a situation, take something that's going to help you.
Mm-hmm. What would you say are the main differences between confidence and arrogance?
I think confidence is about you, and it's about how you perceive yourself, whereas arrogance is how you perceive yourself based on others around you. So I'd say confidence is individual, whereas arrogance is based on how other people view you as well, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Could you describe the ways that someone can build resilience?
Practice. I think just keep trying, keep going. That's what I found to work for me. And it is hard to stay resilient sometimes, like especially for young people. I think it can be frustrating where you're keeping going and you're trying to keep a positive mindset, but it's not working. But I think if it's meant to be, you need to work for it and it'll be, kind of thing. So I would say practice to build resilience.
Yeah. Do you believe in the phrase fake it until you make it, or is confidence building more complex than that?
I do partly believe in that, because I think that positive affirmations and saying things over and over again will bring that into reality. So say you weren't feeling confident, if you look in the mirror and you're saying, no, I can do this, you are faking it until you make it. But those positive affirmations, as you say them, they're coming into real life. So I think an aspect of it is true, but then once you do make it, you will feel confident and it will be real for you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How can a person learn to make new friends and build good relationships?
I think the main thing when it comes to making new friends is just putting yourself out there and not being afraid of how they'll perceive you. So going into it with an open mind, try to be extroverted, I would say. So make the first move in terms of making new friends. That's what I found helps me. Asking information about them, getting to know how they go about life rather than talking about yourself. So selflessness. And I think just being positive. No one really likes or wants to be associated with negativity. Mm-hmm. So I'd say go into it with a positive mind, open mind as well, because sometimes you might get along with someone who you never would have looked at. Like if you're colleagues, you would never have thought, oh, I would be friends with this person. So definitely being open, confident to kind of start the conversation and try to be a bit more extroverted, I would say.
Yeah. What are the ways that someone can stop talking about themselves in a negative way?
I think it comes down again to comparison. I'd say in order to stop talking about yourself in a negative way, try your hardest to completely shut out the negative thoughts. I know it is really, really hard for lots and lots of people, but it's to do with mindset. So just focusing on you, having that self-belief, positive affirmations all the time, building yourself up instead of thinking, oh, what went wrong today? Think, no, what went right today? Mm-hmm. And do it that way, because I found since changing my mindset, it really, really helps. And I know this is a bit cliche, but saying that everything happens for a reason, like you're you for a reason and you should believe in that, you know? So that's what I think. I think just it all comes back to self-belief and building that, and it does take time. So yeah, you do need to take the time for yourself to change your mindset and really grow yourself as a person.
Yeah. Assertiveness is really important when it comes to confidence building. Could you detail how to become a more assertive person?
I think being assertive, it is quite tricky as to whether it's in your personality or not, because I feel like quite a lot of people do struggle with it if they're more of a introverted person. So I'd say maybe get used to building on it in a small way, in terms of like pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and forcing yourself into conversations with colleagues or people at school. Just kind of pushing yourself to build that confidence first. And I think assertiveness, as you build your confidence, it will kind of come. So maybe focus on other aspects first. And assertiveness, lots of people confuse it with being rude as well. So I think it's got a little bit of a bad kind of, oh, you don't want to be assertive. But being assertive is actually really good, and being able to lead people is a good thing. So I'd say practice your confidence first before going on to being assertive.
Yeah.
Maybe, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Failing can be seen as an opportunity to grow and learn from your mistakes. How do you embrace failure and not feel so discouraged?
I think with failure, there's like a bad stigma around failing, and I think it's important to do. I really do, because if you don't fail, you won't know what you can improve on, and if you're always doing things in a perfect way, then there's never any growth, and growth is really important in terms of physical growth, mental growth, educational growth. I think failing at something, it kind of gives you that determination to try again and to keep going, and failing builds resilience. That's one thing that it does do, if you look at it in the right way. So if you go at it with a positive, determined mind, it will help build resilience, build your confidence up, looking at the brighter side of the failure. So thinking, what feedback did I receive from that? What have I learned from it, and how can I take that forward to make sure it doesn't happen again?
Finally, what are the top 3 tips to remember when it comes to boosting your confidence?
I would say look inwards, not outwards. So look at yourself, keep your eyes on you rather than comparing to others, because I think that's so important. Because I'm a person who, I don't care what other people are doing. Like in the shop, if I'm just stood there, I'm not looking at other people's outfits. I'm not thinking in my head, oh, why is she doing that? And no one else should do that either. So don't fear judgment, just keep looking inwards at yourself. And I think, what was it? What are your top tips?
Yeah, to remember when you're boosting your confidence.
Use positive affirmations. I think they are absolutely huge. I know lots of people don't really focus on that. They don't really even think to use those, but they've really helped me. Just saying basic things to yourself, like even in your head, I believe in myself, I can do this. I think that really, really helps to build your confidence, because you believe in yourself. That's one person, so lots of other people will too. And I think the third one, what did I say for the first one? Look inwards, affirmations, and building confidence. Just keep trying. Just keep going. If you feel like you need to give up, don't. Just keep working at it, and you will get there. In terms of confidence, it's all about building yourself up to be a better, person or whatever you're trying to achieve. So I'd say, and have patience with yourself as well, because you're not going to get things the first time. No one's perfect the first time round. No one's perfect the last time round. But yeah, take time for yourself, be patient, and with resilience, you will build confidence, I'd say.
Thank you so much, Tasha.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's brilliant. Okay.